Despite the harsh wording of the collection's title, there are a lot of fans of this specific genre. First, these are mostly detectives, and almost everyone loves them. Secondly, such projects often have enough thriller, mysticism, and psychology in them, simply due to the subject matter of the series. We have collected the best examples of the genre, both Hollywood and European, primarily, of course, Scandinavian and British. The order of the series in the selection does not matter. The Mentalist. Patrick Jane used to pretend to be a psychic, but he paid for it severely. He appeared on TV with a psychological portrait of the maniac Bloody John, and the maniac killed his wife and daughter for it. 5 years later, Patrick is working in cooperation with the Bureau of Investigation for Serious Homicide. He thinks rationally and no longer talks about clairvoyance. One by one, bloody cases are solved, but the protagonist lives only with a thirst for revenge against Bloody John. 7 seasons of one of the most notable detective series of the 2000s. Murder for Bridalson. Danes, Swedes, and Norwegians worked together to make the series, which was later remade by Americans for cable television, but we recommend watching the Scandinavian original. Sarah Lund works as a detective in Copenhagen, but is about to move to Sweden with her fiancé. She is delayed by the case of a murdered girl. Things get more complicated as politics interferes with the police investigation, and a candidate for mayor is named as a suspect. 3 seasons, the first of which is considered the strongest, each of which investigates a tangled and bloody case. You shouldn't expect any quick fixes, as the season is a complete story, not a set of cases that are solved in one episode. Mr. Mercedes. Stephen King's film adaptation, there is room for the imagination of the directors. The theft of a Mercedes, a brutal hit and run, the death of 16 people. And now, after retirement, the detective who did not bring the case to an end has a chance to restore justice. Brendan Gleeson stars in the title role. Traditionally, there are more enthusiastic reviews of the first season than of the second and third. You. The series about a clever maniac, which has already been renewed for a 4th season. Getting to know a nice young man does not bode ill for you, but he can go from a nice courtship to an absolute obsession for the sake of getting into another person's life. Take a closer look at the guys you meet in the bookstore. Hannibal. It's not a detective in the foreground at all. The most sophisticated of cannibals, the most aristocratic of maniacs, embodied on the big screen by Anthony Hopkins, has found an even more stylish reading in the serial format from Mads Mikkelsen. It is not only elusive, but also indescribably aesthetic as a combination of violence and madness can be. The symphony of bloody elegance is not for everyone. Not only the audience went off the rails, but also the ABC channel, which closed the project after 3 seasons. As in The Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon, Hannibal Lecter advises an FBI agent who lacks understanding of a maniac's instincts, despite all his experience and talent as an investigator. At the same time, the famous psychiatrist himself is completely subordinated to his instincts and impulses, but does not lose his lightness and elegance. Each episode of the series is named after a dish from French, Japanese, or Italian cuisine, to which Lecter gladly added his own culinary tweaks. This is the end of the list. If you want to continue, let's collect 20 likes and we will immediately release the next selection with incredible murder mystery series. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. See you next time.